You are now listening to the sounds of DJ Rob and Sapphire. Welcome to the KonnecT.
What up? What up?
Hey there, hi there, hello there. This is the KonnecT Show. I'm Sapphire Simone.
Wow. Wow. You know what? I'm going to keep that in there. We're not going to start this thing over because we're getting a late start as it is. But I'm DJ Rod, the delightful, delectable, wonderful,
That guy.
handsome, of course, you know what I'm saying, doing my damn thing, you know what I'm saying. So,
And modest, apparently. So, very, very modest. And I'm Sapphire Hope Wonder. And this is the KonnecT Show on Wu-Tang Radio. Thank you so much for joining us once again. Okay, DJ Rob, why don't you tell all of the listeners out there what you've been up to this past week?
I've been chilling.
Okay, that doesn't sound interesting at all.
I had a real busy weekend. Saturday, I had 2 gigs and at 101 degree heat here in New Jersey. And Sprint is one of our corporate sponsors for One Outstanding Event Planning. And One Outstanding Event Planning is a sponsor of the show. So, with that being said, they have me at a brand new store at the Morristown Mall, which is near Cherry Hill, New Jersey. And they had me under a awning, but I had awning. Rather,
Yawning.
Awning.
Oh.
I had a fan that was
Blowing hot heat.
blowing on me. But it wasn't that bad. But I was sweating like a bullfrog, and I drank like 7 bottles of water, and I was.
Can we just do a note, because we've had this conversation before, just in our personal conversations, that
About the water.
that bullfrogs don't sweat, man.
I don't know. I've heard that somewhere, and I was in the military.
He's got the most strange animal references. Like, they really got the butter from the duck this time. Like, what? Who has duck butter?
It takes a lot to get butter from a duck, so you got to work hard.
Sweating like a bullfrog. What's one of the? It's another animal one that you have.
God. But anyway, I was so I did that one. That was 4.5 hours. I left that one, then went out to Tuckerton, New Jersey, which is outside of Atlantic City, and there's a camp area. And it was all out there. It was like 200 people waiting for me to set up, even though it don't start at 8 o'clock, and I got there around 6:30. So, I rocked that, and I was sweating there. And on Sunday, my body locked up on me. My toes was cramping because even though I was drinking water, I didn't have, salt.
You should stretch at some point too.
Well, yeah, stretching too, and also, but like I said, it was because of no salt content. I didn't
You
eat
probably
much.
could have used the Gatorade.
Definitely, I could have used it now. So Sunday, I just really did nothing but just try to rehydrate myself. But other than that, 4th of July had off. I cooked myself a little meal, had some cupcakes.
It's just everything about 4th of July and that meal that you had just all sounds
I
like
enjoy
unhealthiness. Tasty, but unhealthiness nonetheless.
So I heard that your wayward child is coming back to the forefront.
I want my baby back.
Yeah, definitely.
So my kid is coming for the summer, and we're gonna do what we do. So she can complain about the camp that she goes to all these activities and tells me about all the fun things that she's doing just because she doesn't want to leave the house. She's getting to that point, where she's getting
So she better stay home and play video games.
Basically, and she's really getting like teenage complaining, but really don't have a real good reason to that whole thing. So
yeah,
I'm kind of like, yeah, great. So anyway,
shout out to New and the Ohio family,
new
Michigan family too.
Michigan.
So is all you want to say? Let's want to get to the stories.
I also would like to mention that I've become a brand ambassador for some items at a grocery store, an organic grocery store, Whole Foods. So you never know, you might walk into one. I mean, for the summer, hey, it seems like there's something fun. You might walk into one, and I'm like, would you like to try our cheese? And so
well, one of the reasons I gave you the want because they're not a sponsor of the show. So if they were a sponsor of the show, maybe you need to approach them and let them know who you are and how you get down.
Let me tell you what it is we can do for you.
So,
all right, let's get this party started. Have you ever worked with somebody and you were like, I really don't like that person?
Oh, yeah, definitely. I do that every time we do a show.
First of all, don't even do that because you know I'm very lovable. I'm a lovable kind
That
of
you are delectable, delightful, lovable.
You just like D words. We're gonna start off with A, the letter A. We're gonna move through the alphabet. Anyway, so what I don't want you to do is what the guy in Germany did, where he contaminated 21 colleagues' lunches. Now, he's working at a metal fitting manufacturer, and the guy is suspected of putting poisonous chemicals in his co-workers' sandwiches since 2000.
So you mean to tell me instead of putting antifreeze in the biscuits, he was putting it directly into their food?
In their sandwiches.
That's crazy.
And, you know,
What can you do?
What was happening was somebody saw him do it and then brushed it off as misguided practical joke when he saw him putting a mysterious substance into it. In the beginning, we thought it was a misconceived prank between coworkers and not a murder attempt. However, a colleague noticed that a white substance was smeared on his lunch. He told the managers, who decided to call police. You think?
He said a white substance. I wonder what was it?
I don't know. He's worked for the company. The guy's worked for the company for 38 years. And he was inconspicuous is what they were saying, but 21 employees have died before retirement since 2000.
What?
One employee has been in a coma for 2 years. So now the police are going to reopen it. You think?
Wow.
Y'all didn't notice people was just like, my sandwich tastes funny.
That is absolutely crazy.
I was like,
He gets a want. You don't do that. You don't kill your coworkers.
there were a strikingly high number of heart attacks and cancers among the death cases in the company, police said. Duh. 21.
Damn, that's crazy.
And nobody ever was like, what is it? Like, even if you thought it was something in the plant.
I'm about to say,
do
somebody
some
didn't
research?
investigate, like, you know, is a cancer cluster in this something?
Or something.
That's crazy.
So, yeah.
Wow.
I don't know.
The stories you find.
Yeah, so just note to self, you know, maybe you shouldn't leave your lunch in an open public place. Maybe you might want to put your lunch near you. You might want to lock that up.
Or maybe you just want to go to the McDonald's next door. Now I will say fast food is probably something you can go with on this one because hell, at least
Not every day you won't want to eat fast food.
Well, one day eating that food gives you cancer. So what can you do? But that's funny though. Like, you know, you bring your lunch there, and he was. There's got to be something wrong with him. I just gotta.
You think?
Well, we know something wrong with him. I'm just saying, like, to think I'm going to poison all my coworkers and nobody. And I guess when he got away with it, he really was like, oh, nobody knows it's me. And he probably felt like, let's go ahead and do it more.
Yeah, and you're a serial killer at that point because you've taken out 21 people.
Yeah, definitely.
You put one in a coma for 2 years. So, yeah.
Yeah, there's definitely some Ohio type stuff going on.
Why it's got to be in Ohio and it happened in Germany, sucker? You know that he probably was born in Jersey. That's some crazy junk y'all do. Y'all got all the chemicals out here. Y'all got all the plants. Y'all make it the flavors for foods out here.
Especially
y'all got a
going
bunch
to Newark Airport when you go over the turnpike and it just smells. And I feel sorry because it's right next to a couple of towns, Elizabeth, New Jersey, things like that. And I'll be like, they smell this every day.
Yeah. So
But they're poor, so they can be sacrificed.
I'm just saying.
Okay, the next story we're going into is... say this, please. Say his name. Say his name. I dare you. I dare you.
His name is Redouane Fahed. I actually looked it up. I looked up somebody else say it. So if I didn't say that correctly...
Redouane Fahed.
It wasn't for lack of trying. He's French Algerian. Yo, this story sounds like something straight out the movies. I know they're going to make a movie about this. I know it. Oh my gosh. Look at that man. Isn't he handsome?
He has a rugged, handsome,
He's
bald
a
head,
handsome
little
OG
makeup on his face type
mud
thing.
bone. Let me tell you how he broke out of the Paris prison again because he had already broken out once. Let me tell you how he did it this second time over the weekend.
Is he there for terrorist activities or?
I don't know.
Okay, no problem. Okay, go on with the story.
All right, so he's actually there, chilling. Then a helicopter comes, lands. He escapes. It only took a few minutes. Nobody was injured or taken hostage. And then he left. So
you said like he washed his ass, shaved, and then he left. But he's actually a French gangster and a serial
he's
jailbreaker.
Very much a gangster. I told you this is the second time. Bring it out.
France's most wanted criminal since 2013.
The pilot of the helicopter was actually a flight instructor who had been taken hostage while waiting for a student. So two of his goons went and abducted a helicopter pilot, made them go get their boy, break him out of prison, and then he left.
Yeah, that's definitely going to be a movie right there. I can see
it's
that.
It's got to be a movie. How can this not be a movie?
And I can see they get The Rock to play him. You know what I'm saying?
I can see that too, definitely. And I mean, so this came after appeals court sentenced him to 25 years for basically coming up. He's the mastermind behind an armed robbery in 2010, and a police officer was killed. But like I said, it was the second time he broke out. In 2013, he took 4 prison guards hostage, then used dynamite to blast his way out. Then he went to a getaway car. But they captured him again 6 weeks later.
Well, they need to do like the American government. I think it's in Connecticut. I think they have one in Connecticut, another one in Kentucky, maybe in Arizona, where the prison actually like 15 to 30 feet below ground. And they have a lot of prisoners in there incommunicado where they can't talk to. I think some of the Chicago gangsters from back in the day are still there. They need to put him in one of those because he can't get out of there.
I'm just saying.
You may get out of your cell, but you ain't getting on above ground. But you never know.
And his life was inspired by Scarface and Heat.
Oh, man, I love that movie Heat.
But he's actually co-authored some books about his delinquent youth and his life as a criminal in Paris. So, I thought El Chapo just walking out was something, but a helicopter escape?
El Chapo, because again, Mexico is ran by the cartel, so I understand how he got out of there. But
there was a tunnel that he walked down. I was like, "Ooh, look at that!" But a helicopter.
But he in America now. Now they screaming that he's going crazy because he can't communicate with nobody. Well, you got messed up your chance.
I bet. And then they also said that there was drones that had been flying over the Paris prison,
trying to see the routine,
but they didn't know where they had come from, so that didn't set some alarms off. Like, note to self. And in there.
He's probably in Algiers in Africa somewhere, one of the French.
Well, hopefully he left Paris because obviously this is not working out for you, bro.
Be honestly, why leave Paris? They probably looking everywhere else. They wouldn't look like next door.
You think so?
I don't know. I mean, you talking about French. I mean, when we used to train with the French, I swear to God, we be walking like a 12-mile road march. They stop every mile and set up their cigarette and a glass of wine.
Shut up.
No, they had it in their
they did not.
They had little nips of wine. If anybody in the military listening to this, matter of fact, this was 1988, 1987. This is when I was stationed in Germany. We used to train with the French soldiers, and they was allowed, I think, 2 or 3 ounces of wine as part of their meal. So they used to stop, like, we'll walk 2 miles or 3 miles or something, like they'll stop and they put out their little picnic baskets and sit.
Shut up, they didn't have no picnic basket.
I wish.
How could you be walking as a soldier with a picnic basket?
Well, I'm just saying.
Take you seriously.
I mean, they pull out of their rucksack, a little thing, and then they had a cheese and they had a wine. I'm dead serious.
They had the cheese.
They had the cheese and the wine. I mean, And we used to be jealous, too, because we sitting there drinking warm water and some crackers from the MRE that's stale as hell.
Because what happens if y'all ever really got to fight somebody?
You talk about the French army. They're not going to fight.
They're like, no.
They're going to run in the back and crawl and get on the phone talking about, yo, the Americans are fighting up front.
That don't sound like a French
That sound like a damn Arab.
The Americans are fighting a front.
Wow. That's so sad. Let's get back to this thing. Let's talk about Scott Pruitt.
Oh, Scotty, baby. Scott Pruitt actually resigned today.
What? Oh, we got to give him the.
He needed to. Did you realize how many investigations he was getting into?
I mean, all of the cabinet's going to retire soon because he only got like 6 people left of the original 130 that he hired.
He said unrelenting attacks because of his ethics controversies. But bro, you can't get in there and do whatever you want to, and then when people investigate you, now you feel some kind of way.
See, I think him being in when he was in Oklahoma, I think he's from, whatever. But I think he had the run of the place. He basically, changed laws based on threats. He thought that he can take that and go to D.C. D.C. is a little bit more ruthless than that, especially when you pissed off a lot of important people because, he was tearing down any type of regulation that would save the environment.
Everything. Like, what? So let me get this straight. Your tax plan doesn't really save me any money in taxes. And my tax lady told me that when I did my taxes this past year. She said next year, you're not going to get as much back. Dang, tax lady. Then you trying to kill me at the EPA with your unfair regulations. I'm just saying, you got tariffs. I'm not going to be able to afford to buy my cheap Chinese products anymore.
No more VCRs for $49.
I can't even get some decent beef from Canada. Like, what's happening here? So what happens is there's actually an investigation that said his former top aide had Pruitt and his staffers used to alter the most controversial events from his calendar, which means they were scrubbing them from his calendar.
Oh, wow.
So he's meeting with people from all kinds of different agencies and companies, and they would take it off so nobody would exactly know. So he had yet another investigation that they were calling for to see if he had committed a federal crime for doing that. Because you're supposed to, I guess, allow the federal government and the citizens of the United States to know who you're meeting with in regards to what, make sure it's all on the up and up. You're not taking private money for stuff. So,
but we know,
Yeah.
I think the next one that's gonna get caught up is that billionaire female running the education department. Because I mean, it's already a lot of controversy and what they call conflict of interest that she's created. Yeah, because
now they're telling them, so we're going to stop the practice of diversifying colleges by encouraging you to take in the background of people that are coming into the colleges. Why? What's wrong with the little diversity? All they were doing was encouraging them. It wasn't set in stone, like, take people in from various backgrounds. It was just something like, hey, think about it. Which a lot of colleges wanted to do anyway because it broadens your base, and so it just makes no sense. But anyway, so he had this whole ethics. Pruitt did. He has this whole ethics thing that was going on. Environmental groups, government watchdogs. Remember we talked about the spending?
Yeah.
About that phone that he got.
The
telephone booth.
Yeah, it cost $35,000, some crazy number.
And then how much he was paying for that truck. And I was like, why do you need a bulletproof truck? Like, who's shooting at you?
Well, he that's because he knew what he was going to do. He was going to upset. But when he was in Oklahoma, I think he's from Oklahoma, but when he was the prosecutor or doing whatever he was doing, the attorney general rather, he was definitely meeting with oil tycoons. Matter of fact, a lot of his legislation was written by the same very people that he was supposed to be going at. Mm-hmm. They wrote him, so that's why it's a free fall. I think it was Oklahoma because they have oil in Oklahoma, right? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, well, it was not a good look, and like I said, this was about to be his 19th investigation. And I'm like, dang, how many times can you get investigated? So, he also was trying to get Trump to fire Jeff Sessions. There was just a lot going on.
That's the one they need to investigate. That crazy.
So he was trying to get his job as the head of the Department of Justice. But because of all of that was going on, And with him being a climate skeptic, but you know, people had all said that, like, why put the climate skeptic guy in charge of it? But it's the same thing with education. Why put the chick who doesn't know anything about it in charge? So I guess that's how we roll these days. So did you have anything you wanted to add? Because I saw you looking. No.
No. I was just,
just looking.
I was just wondering, like, this president, his cabinet are the most. I have to be the most unseasoned politicians in the history of this country. I mean, I'm talking about even when they first had the first cabinet, where they didn't even know how to be a country. But these guys are just idiots, man. They come in, think they can do what they want to do, like they can do in state government. No, it don't work like that. So,
well, I did hear one guy who was, he did a book about what's going on in the administration. And he was saying he does a lot of right wing talks as well, like going into radio stations and whatnot. Right. And he said a lot of people don't realize the policies that are being put in place. Like, yeah, they hear what's being said, but they don't realize what actual policies are being put in place.
And that affects your everyday life.
Exactly, like busting up the unions. He said that, there's all this talk about love for the police officers, but now police officers can't even deduct paying for their uniforms and stuff like that on their taxes with this new tax bill that's coming up. Same thing for firefighters. Like, they have some stuff that they used to be able to deduct that they're not going to be able to deduct. And I know it's plenty of people who was probably in some unions that voted for this administration, and that's being all busted up too. So, yeah.
But again, people, I don't know what it is about these Trumpeteers. Is no matter what they do, or no matter what he says or what he does, they still stand behind him.
They do.
I don't get it, but hey, what can you do? I mean, we were the same. Hold up, we was the same with Barack Obama. Barack Obama did a lot of foul crap, but we were so mesmerized by his wife and his children and his his swag that we wasn't realizing that he was bombing innocent people. He was.
Well, we heard about the drones, but then we were like, okay, but you did work to put in, EPA regulations. You were going after Wall Street. You were going after big businesses. So we kind of...
He was not going after Wall Street. They deregulated all the regulations that was put in the first 4 years and the second 4 years. And that's why Trump came in and was like, well, I'm just going to continue his deregulation. He was a bought and paid for person from Wall Street.
They deregulated everything in the last 4 years. The way that it's being deregulated now, because now
in 2013 they went back to the risky loaning they was doing before.
But this administration has actually taken away the ability to sue, and which was put in place by Obama's administration. They've taken away the ability to sue the companies that get, do these risky loans and stuff like that now. Just like they've taken away the right to do class action lawsuits.
Yeah, that was definitely recent.
So yeah,
but what I'm saying is that Trump is doing some stuff, but we was just like that with Barack. We didn't really challenge Barack because he was doing things for everybody else, and we was giving him excuses. He's not the black president; he's the president of the United States. Well, Trump is a white president, and he's looking out for white folks, rich white folks.
Rich ones, because the everyday middle class white person who voted for him is about to get tooted. You're about to get tooted. You don't know that, but you're about to get bent over and tooted. Just wait till those new taxes hit. You are not able to get back as much money.
So on that note, let's talk about Representative Janelle Bynum.
So let's talk about Janelle Bynum. So Janelle, she's an Oregon Democrat, going out to talk to constituents, knocking on doors. Knock, knock, knock. Taking notes in her cell phone. A police officer pulls up. Yes, Mr. Officer? Well, Miss Bynum, we got a phone call that you were a little suspicious because you're going door to door, spending a lot of time typing on your cell phone after each house. So she's like, yes, that's what I'm doing because I'm a representative. So she said luckily the officer who came out was just like very professional.
Wow, yeah.
Didn't try to harass her. He just inquired. She explained that she is a representative and she's taking notes. based on what the constituents were telling her, so that she could make sure she's representing the needs of the people.
The constituents, yes.
So, you know, she hashtagged it campaigning while black.
Bam. There you go. Campaigning while black. That's the new one there. I like that.
So, you know, in recent months, there has been talk about black people who have found themselves the subject of 911 calls over the most unnecessary things like napping or false alarm over somebody knocking, canvassing, you know, and the person apologized, but at the end of the day, they probably called because she was black. You know what I mean?
Basically.
So let's keep it 100. We can sit here and make it seem like it's whatever, but at the end of the day, had she been some little white lady, they probably wouldn't have called. So that's why the hashtags are now blank while black, living while black, driving while black, now campaigning while black. Everything is, you know.
If you outside the store selling so-called just chilling, you know, breathing while black. I like that one, breathing while black. They're going to stop you breathing.
So, you know, she said she was happy that she was in the act of doing what she's supposed to be doing, going above and beyond for her constituents. And she wondered what she had done to make someone suspicious, if she had done anything at all. So, you know.
That's a naive ass question for her to ask as a black person.
Well, she did you don't have to be, let's be better neighbors.
Yeah, you don't have to do anything. You just have to be black. And if a white person sees you, you heard about the young man that was 8 years old and got the cops called on him. And again, they get to do it. And the cops will respond very aggressively. Oh, it's a young black man or a young black lady. And it's crazy. But America has changed. Yeah, right.
Now, she said that the woman did come and apologize. And she's like, you know, we really need to get to know each other better as neighbors. Like, you know.
And that's just the thing. They get to say that after the fact. Now, this could have went terribly wrong.
She could have lost her life.
She could have lost her life. Could have got, you know, she could have got accused of resisting arrest when she didn't even do anything, and then she had a record. Now she can't be a representative. It could have changed her life forever. The apology should not be after the fact, because I can smack you, Sav, and be like, "Oh, damn, I'm sorry," but it don't change the fact that your face stinging.
You know, I had to work with my kids about that a lot, because they would do something like, and then I'm sorry. And it's like, okay, but you should have punched them in the heart. Like, you saying sorry, it's not just going to take away the punch.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? You know, so before you call, you know what I'm saying, just understand if you seen a strange white guy or a strange white woman in that area, would you call the cops? And just ask yourself that question. And 9 out of 10 is going to be no. Because they're probably going to see one of their white friends. But if you're black, you ain't supposed to be in this neighborhood.
And you look suspicious.
Yeah.
So she said, Bynum did say, I think with proper training, it went the way it should have. I think the sheriff's department is really focused on trying to have respectful interactions with citizens. And I'm really committed to make sure that I don't do, you know, anything to make the officer feel uneasy. So fortunately, it was two cool-headed people talking. And it worked out in her
if the
favor.
officer was coming from another stop where he got kicked in the knee or something, then he would have went to that stop. He would have brought all that aggression to her. And that's what I'm saying about this interaction. We always have to be very mindful of that. And that's crazy.
We got to be like, say, boss,
yes.
Is everything okay?
We got to be like we back on the sharecropper. You know what I'm saying? Even though he wasn't massa, we still had to call him boss and sir.
Is everything
crazy,
okay?
man.
You got to look down. Is everything okay? Like, we ain't paying for some.
But I would love to hear the conversation she had with her friends. I know it didn't go the same way. Let's move on.
And then this broad gonna come over to me talking about she's sorry she called the cops. Bitch.
She gave the quintessential politic, you know, the politician talk. She gave that perfect. But I know she went in friends like, he came. I was about to smack the hell out of him. Who you are? It's all good. Let's get into this AT&T.
All right, so you know they allow AT&T to go ahead and merge with Time Warner because AT&T said they were going to lower prices and then they raised them. So now everybody is paying $5 more a month, and they said that they had to increase to deliver the best possible streaming service experience for new and existing customers.
Okay, I guess.
But that was the whole point that they allowed the merger, was for them to lower.
You knew good and well they would. They had that, and they had one pile here that's going to tell the public until the merger was done. Once the merger complete, like, oh, we have to raise prices. Same thing like when the Bush, the father, read my lips. I'm not raising taxes. First 100 days, he raised taxes 39%. I don't know how much percentage, but he raised the hell out of taxes. So, again, I mean, corporate America is one of the greediest places that I'm not in no more.
And they also include a nice little hike in their administrative fee, which was 76 cents. Now it's $1.99 for the cell phone bills.
Damn.
So
damn. I'm trying to do the numbers in my head.
Also, the company updated 2 of its unlimited mobile plans, putting extra $5 onto its cheaper plan.
Yeah, see. I wonder how they're going to lose customers.
I know. I always thought AT&T was a little too expensive, personally. Unless you want to sponsor the
AT&T
show.
and Verizon.
Verizon gets me, okay? They do. They punking me. I'm not going to lie. Verizon is punking me, but the service is unparalleled. Like, I cannot remember the last time I dropped a call.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I got Straight Talk, which uses Verizon's, AT&T's, T-Mobile. I don't know how they do it, so I have never had no problem with my phone. It's the phone itself that I had a problem with, because I had that little cheap, what you call it, welfare phone.
You had that little bootleg Obama phone, that track phone,
and I refused to get rid of it because everybody was talking about it. Let me be me, man.
So you gonna be that dude?
Yep.
Who gonna walk around with a questionable ring on his neck because he doesn't want people telling him to go get it checked out?
Nah, but the phone with you
gonna have suspicious balls. You gonna have one like this because you don't want your girl judging you.
I refuse to pay $600-700 for a freaking phone. When again, the technology for cell phones haven't changed in 30 years. It's all of the adaptations, like the video and the phone and the camera and all
which
that stuff.
Which is a change. I mean, I think back to my phone, and you said 30 years, like it's been around that long, but I'm thinking back to my first phone, and my first phone
Cell phones have been around since 1993, boo-boo. Well, really been around longer than that.
But I'm thinking about my first cell phone. It didn't do nearly as much as this one does. Nearly. All it did was call. That's it. You could call and you could hang up the call.
I mean, that's it. But now you can text.
And you could hang up.
But again, now cell phones are little computers.
They're little computers. It wasn't a little computer back then. Your track phone
and you
was
didn't
not
need it to be.
for you.
I have a computer. I'm on my computer.
But you had 2 phones. You using one for the plug, one for the load. Like, why?
Next week we're going to Denzel Washington gave a wonderful speech at a college, and I'm going to take some snippets of that and show you, because again, this having a computer that access to is making Americans dumb as hell.
I'm not.
Let's move on. God darn it. I'm the director. I'm the associate producer. I'm everything on this show. So when I say move on,
and I'm gonna keep talking about these computers. You're the everything. You better get off your own high horse and bring it down. You're at a 10 right now. I need you to bring it to a 4. You over here losing your mind.
Are we going to talk about the Northern California brush fire?
Why are they still on fire? This is what
they've been on fire for the last 6 years.
What is happening? Now they were able to contain, about 135 square miles of Northern California wildfire again that broke out. And there's warning that triple-digit temperatures could cause more flames. And I'm not being funny. I'm being dead serious. Are there trees left enough to burn this much?
California's a huge
I
state.
know, but they've been fighting forest fires.
Yeah, it's been going on. I mean, I think since 2013, they'll put one out, another one starts up.
Immediately another one starts.
And these people, we're going to rebuild. Why? Because when the trees grow back, you're going to burn again.
And as they saying, another 1,000 homes are in danger.
I mean, the problem with California is also they're in the midst of a drought. They get a lot of their water from the Colorado River. And the Colorado River is running low because California hasn't had that much rain, especially in Southern California and Central California. So when it says it doesn't rain in Southern California, it doesn't rain in California at all. So that's making the woods like a tinderbox, just waiting for a spark from lightning or some dumbass throwing a cigarette or somebody smoking crack and a piece drop out of the pipe. I don't know where.
Oh, dang, your crack is setting it on fire. Why?
But shout out to the Californians. Hope y'all get your stuff together and blow the fire out. Let's move on to Lissandro Ruiz. Is it Ruiz or?
Why are you beating up his name? His name is
Guzman.
Yeah, well, that's his last name. His name is Lissandro Guzman Felipe. And if you recall, that was the teen that was attacked outside the bodega with all of these people wielding weapons.
And other people with their cell phones taping it. It's just unbelievable.
It was. And then so I'm reading about some of they arrested now about 11 people that are part of the attack. So they had gotten the first 8 or 9, and they've been slowly adding on to that since then. They're thought to be Trinitarios gang members, which I had never heard of, the Trinitarios. And they're grown as the ish. Like,
they grown ass men.
They ranged between the ages of the 2 they picked up today. One was 29, one was 26. They ranged between the ages of 20 and 29. Like, why are you grown men coming for this little baby boy? And why it take so many of y'all? And then talk about a mistaken identity.
Well, the one thing about the gang mentality, they're a gang. It's not going to be fair. Everybody wanted to get a piece of them, so when they get back to the honeycomb hideout, they're going to say, yeah, you see what I did?
Honeycomb, that doesn't sound like it.
Last week I said the gang hideout, and you said I sound like I was from cartoon or back in. It's a honeycomb hideout. But anyway, that's what it is. It's a gang mentality. Everybody wants to get part of it, so that way, when they look back at it. But I still find out what's awesome. What's terrible is they went on Facebook and said, "Oh, we made a mistake." I was like, "Wow, how can you?" What type of gang? I'm sorry. These gangs have etiquette. I never heard of this before.
You should have some kind. You shouldn't just be killing babies for no reason. You should have some kind of etiquette.
Yeah. So you're saying they should have hacked them up for a reason?
No, I'm saying.
No, what are you saying?
I'm saying that you should be apologetic that you took this little baby's life.
They're apologetic because it was the wrong guy. What I'm saying, if this guy was the right guy, it was okay.
It depends on why y'all was trying to kill him. What did he do? Because maybe, wait a minute, now pause. He could have done some messed up stuff too. That may have made it all right. If it was the guy you thought it was, and he raped your niece and left her for dead, and now she in a coma. Maybe he needs to be hatched. It depends on why y'all was going for him in the first place.
Gang members' nieces get raped. Okay, let's move on.
Things happen. I was going to also say that if you look at the picture, if you can see the picture, if you're watching us, he's part of the new NYPD Explorers group, which is a group of people who eventually want to become cops. So they're actually going to start a fund in his name.
Wow, he could have been one of the good ones, you know what I'm saying? But, shout out to his family, man, and, those 11 gentlemen who's going to sit in Rikers for the next 3-4 years before they even see a judge. You took a life, and there's no coming back. And even if your blow was not the one that killed them, they're going to give you the same time as if you was.
Well, they had to make them their own space on Rikers Island because that's how much they hate it, and they think that they're going to get killed. Hey. So I guess until they get to trial, it's only 3 of them right now that's in a 50-unit cell block on Rikers. That's under
the
constant
chips
camera
fall as they may.
Yeah, it's going down. Somebody gonna get you. They gonna stick you. You're gonna get got. You're gonna get. Anyway, so I'm glad that there's been some justice done here. Alrighty then. Are you ready?
Let's talk about Will Smith. Wonderful.
Will Smith got a mural, a big mural, a really, really big mural. So it's in West Philadelphia, if you didn't know.
Because that's where he was born and raised.
And it's by a British artist named Richard Wilson. So Wilson had the thought to put it kind of like how Barack Obama's presidential portrait was.
Yeah.
But he put him in, a little casual attire. And Smith hasn't actually been there yet to see it, but he did say that he was going to visit the city to check it out. He's launched a fundraiser and is selling merchandise. 100% of the proceeds are going to go to West Philadelphia's Global Leadership Academy Charter School.
Oh, wow. That's what's up.
And to the artist Richard Wilson. So, his mom, Will Smith's mom, Carolyn Bright, was at a loss for words.
I think that, Saf, you have done enough in your life where, if you go back to the high school that you didn't graduate from, maybe they can actually do a mural for you. You know what I'm saying? I think that'd be awesome. I can see it, you know what I'm saying? Be like, yo, she didn't graduate and she called us hell. And she always had
I didn't graduate. I did graduate from high school.
She always had hot dog breath, but we can.
Oh.
I gotta take the personal side stories. So that's funny. That's funny. That's funnier than that.
Oh.
That is funnier than that.
I definitely graduated from high school.
And you definitely went to school with hot dog breath some days.
I did not. Not when I got older. Not by the time I got to high school.
Oh, that's right. You graduated. We was 22, 21. Nah, but I'm serious though.
I think earlier than you.
I think that it's a wonderful thing that Will Smith is getting recognized because he did bring a lot of positivity to the city, and he still visits the city regularly. So is Kevin Hart. So shout out to the Philadelphians. You know what I'm saying? Our homies out there.
This was funny too. Smith's former bodyguard, who's also his friend, Charlie Mack, said that Wilson, the artist, even got Smith's protruding ears just perfect.
And speaking of Charlie Mack is in. It's part of that Meek Mill situation as well. The judge wanted Meek Mills to go back to his management, but anyway, that's the Charlie Mack that I remember.
Charlie Mack,
punk ass.
Ooh, why you gotta be on like that? Anyway, so let's talk about the more.
Yeah, I got it. I don't understand what this one's about, so I'm gonna let you explain it to me.
So while at Howard University, Damon Lawrence worked in the hotel industry as a front desk agent. So he decided that he wanted to have a business that catered exclusively to blackness. He says, Black culture leads American culture and American culture leads global culture. So we think it's time for a hotel property that reflected the best of the black culture.
Oh, the more. Yes. Okay.
So him and a former Howard University alumni, Marcus Carey, opened the Moore. It's in New Orleans.
Shout out Nylons.
And it's an upscale 10-room hotel that pays homage to the Moors of North Africa through its architecture aesthetics. So if you go look up the pictures, it looks amazing. I hope I can stay there the next time I go back to New Orleans.
I'm looking the way they got the hallway with the bedroom to the left, and then you got the little chairs there, and you got a little breakfast nook. That is a beautiful spot. And it looks like it's kind of spacious too.
Yeah, you can actually use you can book using a promo code now called Launch. I don't know if they're still going to take it because I said July 4th, and July 4th was like yesterday.
So do they have a price range for this hotel?
I didn't see one.
Not that it matters, because I think
but
that
you can probably look it up right now on your phone and just type it in. They plan to open other locations where black culture is thriving, like Washington, D.C., Brooklyn, and Detroit. They want to open a 102-room property called the Town Hotel in downtown Oakland by 2019. And before that, they plan to launch another property in the Treme section of New Orleans called the Freeman.
Okay, I see what they're doing.
I think it's amazing. Like, I would travel around the country just to stay in these hotels. Just so I could be part of it and be like, yes. Did you find the price? No?
Yeah, they don't give you the price. They got special. You have to actually book it, but I'm pretty sure.
Because it probably is going to depend, too, on, like, when you go.
Yeah.
So I could see that being a little variation. But I'm really excited, to end up seeing it ultimately in person. Because I'm supposed to be going to New Orleans again in a few months.
Okay. Shout out to Nylons again.
Hey, hi. So let's talk about the seat at the table tour.
Hold on. Let's
pretend like we going.
No.
Like we going to
the rooms cost. Oh, they are very reasonable. On Fridays and Saturdays, they can run from $180 to $200. On Sundays, they're $75 a night. Yeah, 78, 87, 50, 84. Okay. So yeah, so during the week is a lot cheaper during the week. On the weekends, a little bit more heavier. So the rates are really reasonable.
That's not bad at all.
Just wanted to share that little tidbit.
For when I go, I'm gonna look into that.
Okay, look into that.
Even for one night, because we're supposed to all be staying at the same hotel, the group of us.
Right.
But maybe for one night, I could at least stay over at the Moore.
Let's keep the show going. We don't care about your vacations.
You a hater. Don't be hating.
We're talking about black women.
So the Democratic National Committee has launched a tour called Seat at the Table. And it's a new initiative for black women. So it's an outreach tour designed to rebuild relationships, restore trust, and strengthen infrastructure within the communities to champion democratic values and build towards electoral victories. All right, so
Why?
It said black women have been the Democratic Party's basically most reliable voting bloc since the 1990s. And they saw what happened with Doug Jones in Alabama. And
so that was Mississippi. It's Alabama?
It's Alabama.
Okay.
And, you know, the Democratic Party as of late has been criticized for neglecting the needs of black women in the black community, not adequately supporting black women who are running for office.
I have to say this, though. They got Doug Moore in. What has he done? See, this is one thing about, they've been the biggest the voting bloc for the Democratic parties, but what have they gained?
Well, they said now many black women candidates, particularly in Alabama, have been operating with little institutional support. So the DNC is trying to change that in collaboration with the Congressional Black Caucus.
The DNC don't care if you're black or white, as long as they think that you can win. I've listened to a story in New York City where a young man had the people in Long Island. He had all the people with him, but he didn't have the businesses. And the DNC went with the guy that had all the businesses, even though the guy that had all the businesses is not the great. Is not a good candidate that the people like, because I think he did some jail time or something. So I say this to say
he ended up losing.
That's what I'm saying. They put their money behind the people that had the businesses, not the people that had the votes.
It's the same thing with the young lady who just beat Crowley. And Crowley had been in there forever. And they didn't give her no kind of support whatsoever.
They tried to force her to get out of the race too, and she was like, no.
And she ended up winning. They thought she was going to be
the DNC support. Right. So what I'm telling the black women, they should have said, you don't need their support. I mean, you got to get your nickels and dimes together from the people. The people are, and then that means that now you're beholden to the people. You're not beholden to these corporations. So that's just
so that is a good point. That if they stay, because they're still running and they're still turning up and out. Now the DNC has a director of African American outreach.
Of course they do, because they want to control. When whoever gets you in office owns you. If the people get you in office, you can be a Democrat, you can be a Republican, you can be an independent, Green Party. But as long as the people are the ones that are financing you and giving you your votes, that's the most important thing. The DNC is nothing but another corruptible institution. That's what I say.
Your advice is don't do it, ladies.
If you have democratic values, you don't need the DNC. The DNC, all they're going to do is they're going to gather the money for you, and you're going to be beholden to those money powers. Like I said, just get your nickels and dimes and get the people behind you. And the people behind you, ain't nothing the DNC can do.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's because I've heard politicians say they spend so much time on the phone trying to raise money, and I'm like, why?
I think Orrin Hatch had in his book, he said he spent damn near 80% of his28 years or some crazy number like that. And he said that he spent 80% of his time raising money for elections. 80% of his time.
And so how much could you really be doing for the people if that's all you're doing is worrying about raising money for the election?
And so that's what I'm saying. That's why Congress have a 9% approval rating, and they ain't doing nothing. I don't even know why we send people there. Everybody wants to get there, and they realize that if you're a senator or a congressman for the first 2-3 years, you can't bring nothing up to the what's the name anyway. So it's crazy. But anyway, we're gonna go to sisters.
Hey, sisters. So there was 2 students, and I'm not sure all of their background, but it's Jayla Tolliver and Talisa Marriott. All right, they're sisters. They're both freshmen in the same high school in Yerington High School in Nevada, and they're 15.
They're both 15?
That's what I was kind of confused about that. Like, are they both 15? Like, do they have a different mom, maybe?
Or a different dad? Well, now they look the same complexions.
Or maybe they got a different dad. But y'all. Or
maybe they adopted.
No, you had to have a different mom because.
Oh yeah, the mom can't give birth twice.
Yeah, because you're the same age. So you got to have a different mom, but maybe the same dad who got 2 women pregnant at the same time. I've definitely heard of that happening before.
That's that mathematical thing in my mind. I'm like, well, yeah, she can have 2. Nah,
I know you came from Plainfield High School. So anyway,
I'm gonna let you have that.
So they've been bullied for months at school because of their race. And they actually ended up bringing a federal lawsuit against Lyon County school districts. And, it pushed the school to re-examine how it was dealing with bullying and racist behavior from students. One boy put on online, and it was the photo of the county sheriff's. It's the son of a county sheriff in Lyon. He's holding up a gun with the caption, "The redneck god of all gods." And then he goes on to say, "We about to go ninja hunting."
Did he use ninja or he used a real NIGGA?
He used the real thing. And, people being bullied these days take it pretty hard. There's some suicidal attempts, you know what I mean? Like, these kids go through a lot via social media, and so they had actually...
But the fact that he felt bold enough to write that, and, it's showing you that, they are not afraid to be who they are.
We know that we in the Trump era. So
they're not afraid to be who they are.
And the school officials really didn't do much. Those girls were getting harassed for at least 6 months, and the school officials didn't do much at all. So that's why they sued them, because they're like, this is supposed to be a safe space, and what are you doing? So police weren't involved in any investigations. Then when it did come that they were involved, they were like, well, it's free speech.
Oh, it's amazing.
So him holding up a gun, talking about he about to go ninja hunting, is free speech.
Yeah, but if I hold up a gun and let's go kill a cop,
or if
it's not free speech, it's threats. Come on.
Or if Maxine Waters said you should absolutely
boycott, kick people out.
Yeah, go and say things to the administration if you're unhappy with it. Is inciting violence, and they're calling against her.
That's why I said, the interpretations of laws in this country is ridiculous. And they want me to say that, it's not because it's black and white. It's a black thing now, because again, if a black man gets on Facebook or gets on social media and threatens somebody, he's going to jail. But these white kids do that. They were just joking around. There's no harm, no foul. It's free speech. But that's why I tell people, black people, you're not free, especially with your speech.
Especially with your speech. So the U.S. Department of Education is now going to consult with the school district. They've agreed to consult with them and pay for counseling for the teens. They're also going to pay a lump sum to the teen's family for the attorney fees, totaling $160,000.
So again, the attorneys wins in this.
So the girls gave messages, and Jayla Tolliver say, "I will always look back on this tragedy knowing that it made me the strong African woman I am today." And her sister, Talisa, was saying that they're so thankful to their supporters. And they were, that there was horrific behavior, and they were actually shocked that they were being bullied in this way about racism, and they were told to quiet their voices, and they refused. So Shout out to you,
Shout out
ladies,
to the sisters. Shout out
for
to the
being
sisters.
strong. For being strong. All
All right, let's
right.
keep the show moving. All-Star Code.
Let's talk about this All-Star Code. It's a nonprofit that has raised over $1 million to expand STEM for boys of color. Now, if you don't know, STEM is the science, technology,
Engineering and math.
mathematics. Yeah, I was like, what's that E for again? Anyway, so it's going to help with men of color. They got a record number of applicants for their summer program this year, nearly 1,000, and they only have 160 spots.
I have a problem with the men of color thing. I mean,
Why?
why can't they say black men? We're not colored. We are.
But it's
we are
not
the
just
original.
black; it's black and Latino.
Regardless, we're not colored. When you say colored, that means that everything is white, and then you are different because you're not white. Colored is a very negative in connotation, but you got to use colored to get donors. I get it, but black.
Or to be specific,
Black or brown. Black and brown. That's what they should say.
All right, let's do this. Black and brown young men.
Too late. It's the story. It's the story. You can't change the outline. What's wrong with you?
It didn't say men of
Fake
color.
news.
I said it.
So you're
Oh,
the
no, I'm
problem.
lying. It does say boys of color.
Yeah, okay, I'm about to say it. All right. So let's move on. We got to keep the show rolling.
Oh, okay. Well, the All-Star wants to help spread its impact, and they want to get up to 10,000 young men by 2022. So they're trying to spread a pipeline of talented and ambitious young entrepreneurs ready to enter the tech industry. So I think that's pretty amazing. It's taking place in New York City and Pittsburgh.
Shout out to the NYC and the black and yellow
Their
Pittsburgh.
curriculum is actually coming from partners like AT&T, Cisco, Goldman Sachs, Google, JP Morgan Chase, and Media Data, and the University of Pittsburgh, Chatham University. So that's what's up.
Shout out. As we keep the show moving, Jordan Peele.
Hey, Jordan. So he's about to produce a sci-fi series called Weird City. Do you remember?
Weird City.
No. Weird Science. Weird Science.
Is that the parody that he's making, or are you making the parody?
I was making it.
Fake news.
Shut up. Anyway, YouTube Premium is going to get Jordan Peele and Charlie Sanders to do Weird City. It's in a not too distant future, metropolis of weird. And each episode is an exploration of issues that pertains to present day life. Stories that can only be told through the prism of sci-fi and comedy.
Shout out to Jordan Peele for doing the damn thing. I mean, Get Out really, opened up his career for him. You know what I'm saying?
It really did. And he is also executive producing the reboot of The Twilight Zone.
Now, I always wanted to say they need to do that black version of that, because we are the most paranoid human beings on the planet. If we wake up and open up the cabinet and there's a little man handing us a bowl of cereal, come on, man. I love The Twilight Zone. It was so
little
weird.
man handling us a bowl.
It was an episode where it was a parallel world where you had giants, which was the normal people, then you had little people. This was actually 1950s, and so little people, you know what I'm saying, they was eating like everything that was small to us was big to them, and it was crazy.
Like a crumb.
Basically, my man was sipping on a little cup of coffee and a big ass piece of crumb. That shit was funny. But again, it dealt with the parallel worlds, you know what I'm saying?
But we got a good reason to be paranoid, because every time I turn around, there's some conspiracy against us.
Yeah, for real.
So,
either the water or they doing stuff. They're selling you breasts at the damn Kentucky Fried Chicken. That wasn't even a chicken. It was just grown as a breast.
They giving the babies other babies from Planned Parenthood. Like, yeah, every time I turn around, there's some issues. So you know that Peele also is the executive producer of The Last OG with Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, with Tracy Morgan, definitely.
Which is kicks. I really get it.
I can't wait till next season, though. It was pretty good, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I gotta finish the last season.
So as we move on to Cleo Lake, she like a scholar or something, or a very bad dresser.
No, don't do her that.
I'm just hoping I'm just saying, if you watch this on YouTube, that photo looks like she's a scholar or she's a very bad dresser or she's stuck in the 1700s. I don't know which one.
Anyway, Cleo Lake is a black British mayor. So she's actually Lord Mayor. So she's
Well, I was
over
right.
the town
She
of
is weird, a black British mayor.
She's over the town of Bristol. And one of the first things she did
That's a pretty big town.
when she got into the office, she removed the 300-year-old portrait of a slave trader from the wall in her office's parlor. So shout out to Cleo.
Shout out
She
to
might
Cleo.
have on the little wardrobe over her. She actually has that robe over like a little African garb.
Okay. I can see the red, black, and blue. I mean, the red, black, and blue, the red, black, and yellow.
Yeah, she basically was like, this portrait will not stand.
All right, shout out to Cleo as we move on to Nasty Nas.
Yo, Nas is making moves with thugs on the low. I did not realize that Nas was doing such things. Okay, let me
Allegedly, we have to, we always said that, this is an alleged situation.
What's alleged?
I don't know. You saying he's doing things with a thug, and I don't know where you're going with that. Don't.
He's not actually. It's not thuggish. He's
Okay.
actually doing big business moves. But I like to
Don't
say
impugn. Don't impugn his name and negativity. That's all I'm saying.
First off, I'm not gonna impugn Nas. I just got the new Nas CD, which I enjoy. Anyway, so Amazon is gonna buy a pharmacy that Nas had part of called PillPack. And he's got all kinds of business moves that he's made. So PillPack was backed by Queenbridge Venture Partners, which is an investor that Nas has created. And the fund is said to have raised $8.8 million. So since then, a total of $118 million was amassed in private capital investments before Amazon got involved. So it's supposed to be finalized this fall. And the owners of the online pharmacy are each making $100 million from the deal. And Nas is going to get some money from that too, since they first were backing it. Or so they say.
So he'll be back in court because every time he gets a check, girl,
I want some more money.
I mean, that is a bitter bee.
Now, this is the second time Amazon bought out one of his investments, because in March, the retail giant got $1 billion to purchase Ring.
Yeah, the
smart doorbell company. So he made $40 million off of that.
Yeah.
Then Queensbridge Venture Partners also had a hand in Lyft, Genius, and some other things. So he don't talk about what he's doing, but he's doing it.
He's doing the damn thing.
And I'm like, can I invest in Queensbridge Venture Partners?
Probably so.
But that seems like a move I should be making. I'm gonna move with you, Nas. Nasty.
Okay, as we move along, Janoris.
Oh, this was kind of sad. I don't know. This was sad. All right, so let's talk about Janoris. Do you know who Janoris is?
He's a football player.
He is a football player. So I have two pictures up. One is of him. The one at the bottom is of his brother. And so Janoris plays for the New York Giants.
Shout out to the Giants fans out there.
So a dead body was found at his house.
At Janoris' house?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And it turned out that it was a family friend named Roosevelt. So now his brother, Janoris' brother, has been charged with aggravated manslaughter. And Janoris said he was back in Florida when it was discovered in his New Jersey home.
Damn.
And that was only a couple weeks after minicamp. Now, he put on Instagram they were getting together to make some music. It hurts his heart to know how he passed away. He said he can't really speak on it too much, though, because there's an investigation. But his brother has, like I said, been arrested and charged for manslaughter. So
never know. Every time now, them checks coming in, now the brother still want to live that thug life. I don't know. I guess we don't know what happened.
No, they saying it's either strangulation or suffocation.
damn, it was personal.
Could be a personal case.
If a bullet ain't as personal as when you can choke the.
Yeah, somebody was the
Shout out to the family.
Shout out to the family.
The guy, it was one of his beats. The name was Beats something. PP Beats, Trip Beats, or something like that. No.
Oh yeah. His name was.
He was a
Trips Beats.
Yeah, he was a producer of music. Yeah, ain't that something?
Yeah, because they were saying that's why he was there, because they were working on something. So that's why he was in the house in the first place.
All right, well, let's talk about what Chris Brown is up to.
He spent $350,000 on a bulletproof SUV. I'm like, who is all shooting at y'all? First Scott Pruitt, now
you know what? I honestly, I think it's just a fad. I think everybody is getting it. You know what I'm saying? I don't see nobody. Well, I mean, Chris Brown is hated and loved on the internet. I mean, he puts himself in so many wonderful situations and dumb situations at the same time. So I don't know. I guess he want to feel secure. You know what I'm saying? But that's a heavy vehicle, and it's gas guzzler because it's got to pull all that weight around. But
yeah, because it's a tank.
Yeah, basically,
it's a khaki colored bulletproof vehicle. That's a tank.
Unfortunately, you got to get out of the car. You can't, unless you got the big burly Negroes around you.
And it's got smoke screens, thermal night vision capability, which is viewable on the display screen, electric door handles to shock any approaching intruder.
Listen,
and an easy deployable defense spike strips.
If you got the money, I would love to have one.
Say that again. It's got spike strips. That sounds like some ish out of a Batman movie.
A lot of the vehicles have that. I think there was a drug lord, Colombian drug lord, that had the one where they had the pipes that can spit out, and they'll spit flaming fire at you. And then they had, of course, the ones where you try to grab the door, they'll shock the crap out of you. I love to do that, and the cop pulled me over. Get out the car. I'll be like, officer, I forgot to tell you I had it on.
You better drive away. You better just drive away.
Because he can shoot all he wants.
Because when he wake up, it's shucks. So,
yeah, but I think a lot of people are getting them, you know what I'm saying? A lot of famous people, because again, I think XTion, after his murder, realized that, anybody can just walk boom,
Which
so I kind of get it.
So I understand that, but I mean, he has an extensive car selection anyway.
Yeah. And he can afford it, $350,000 to drop in a bucket.
Yeah, did you see
he
it
looked
though?
high as hell in that photo that you sent me. He looked like he just sniffed like half an ounce. Yeah, boy. His eyes are heavy.
I mean, the truck is kind of cute, but it didn't look like it was worth all of that. It's small, smaller than I thought it was going to be.
That's the thing.
I thought it was going to be.
I wish you'd have gave me a picture of the truck, because what's funny about the truck is that it don't look sexy. It looks like a military truck that you'll have in Iraq, because it's tan. It looks crazy.
Yeah, it doesn't look sexy. It just looked like a rounder little Hummer, but it's not even as big as a Hummer. It's like way smaller.
Okay.
So anywho,
as we move on to the next story, Rob Taylor.
Are you gonna show the video?
Yes, let's talk about the video.
All right.
Oh, it's too
bad. You can't get 2 bands on my ATM machine. I got some money in my pocket, bro. I'm gonna give you whatever in my pocket, bro. Check your boy out, son. I'm finna give you whatever in my pocket. Look, you talking about you quality control or something? Don't spend your money with this nigga, son. Nigga, did my research on that shit. Come on, my nigga. Man, I'm finna give bread. Come on, my nigga. You wanna play with me like that? I'm finna give bread, man.
The damn grids. Ooh.
Can't say it one-on-one. Nah, bro.
Unfortunately, that young man is going to jail for a long time.
She gonna call him.
So I'm not sure if you could hear all of the audio, because some of it was a little hard to hear, but basically what was happening, and this young man Rob Taylor is a producer
for the Migos.
He produced more than just the Migos. He's produced for Rich Homie Quan, Rich the Kid, Yo Gotti, and the Migos and some others. So he owed another rapper, $2,000. The rapper was unhappy about it. You can hear the rapper saying, "Quality control, what?" And then he's like, he's like, "Don't spend your money with this dude." So one of the friends goes in his pocket after he gets the hits and everything, and he like, oh, it's only on 800 or 900, but I guess that's gonna hold them off.
That's robbery.
And
that's on camera.
then the angry rapper says, and he know where you stay at. He said that ninja, and that ninja know where you stay at.
Terroristic threats.
So, but even with that being said, I'm pretty sure that Rob Taylor would have to press charges. And you're going to be called a snitch if you do so, especially when you owe this man money. So
why? I don't understand why. I know this cat gotta have millions. So why are you not just pay $2,000? Chunk that nigga off, and whatever beef it is, you know what I'm saying? Because again, you think you tough, and those dreads, I'm telling you, man, he wrapped his hands around those dreads, and he couldn't go nowhere. My man couldn't go nowhere. He
had him. It was a wrap with that hair. So, you know, at the end of the day, like I said, you pressing charges would be a whole move when you should just pay this man his money.
Yeah, but again, now his reputation this is online. This is gonna go viral.
And he erased his Instagram account.
Who, Rob Taylor?
Mm-hmm.
Of course, but people still looking at it.
Oh yeah, they definitely been looking at it. It's been
so as we chime down the show, let's hit up with Little Pump and Charlie Sheen, which is a hell of a combination.
Man, tell me about it. I was like, Charlie Sheen, and then to find out why they collaborated is just funny enough. So, anyway, so they got a new music video together, and Little Pump wanted Charlie Sheen to be in this music video. It's called Drug Addict.
Hold up, I gotta get Lil Pump. Shout out Lil Pump for recognizing the real is real.
So Sheen actually put out a tweet on July 4th, putting him and Lil Pump in matching jumpsuits, asking him, what day did you want to break the internet? And, you know, Pump replied asking his followers to retweet if he should drop ASAP. So he dropped a little tease about drug addict. So, you know, I thought that was an interesting combo. But the name is Drug Addict, though. Like, for real, that's why you tap Charlie Sheen.
Saf, that's one of them stories that, you know, we could have left on the burning room floor.
No, I thought that was funny and ironic all at the same time, because Charlie was all about that life.
All right, next one up is Chance the Rapper.
He's now engaged. He proposed to his girlfriend at a barbecue on July 4th.
She looked like she's from Chicago.
If you don't cut it out.
She does. She's a nice looking young lady. I mean, I'm not saying anything negative.
I didn't realize Chance was so young. He's only 25.
And that's a shame. He's affected the game in the last 5 years like no rapper in history. I'm not even talking about music wise. Just talking about
business wise.
Business and social.
Definitely been about
social commentary and such.
So family and friends cheered them on as he proposed, and you know, he grabbed their 2-year-old daughter for a group hug. They've been dating.
So this is not his baby mother. This is does Chance got children?
Yes. I think that is his baby mama.
Okay.
I think so.
He grabbed her 2-year-old daughter.
No, I said he grabbed their 2-year-old daughter.
Okay. Yeah, so that's the same one he's been seen with. Okay.
Yeah, because he's been dating her on and off since like 2013.
Yeah.
How old were they in 2013? Hella young. They was hella young.
19.
Yeah, they was hella young.
Something like that. 5 years ago.
Yeah. So congratulations. Oh, and she said yes.
Okay. And our final story is the Culture Creators.
I never heard of this before. It's actually an event that they do every year. I didn't hear anybody talk about the Culture Creators. And it's an award ceremony. Have you ever heard of this before?
Nah, I think I heard Dame Dash talk about it. But I mean, I still don't. I didn't know. You know, he also my culture vultures. So Culture Creators.
Well, Culture Creators is a brunch, and it awards innovators that, you know, affect the culture. So, you know, they had all kinds of people there. Waka Flocka and Quality Controls Coach AJ Calloway and Angela Rye. So I didn't know. This is the third one though, and it's in Beverly Hills at the Beverly Hilton Hotel. And it's sponsored by Remy Martin.
Shout out to Rim.
Main Choice, Morgan Stanley, Beats by Dre. It's a sit-down event. It has a preliminary cocktail reception finished by, an inspirational and energetic awards presentation. So, one of the people who actually spoke was Janelle Hill. And Janelle was just saying how women in the rap game have been, especially as of lately, because of their work ethic, have inspired her. So I just thought that was a nice little event that didn't get a lot of attention.
Okay, well,
I think DJ Khaled made a surprise appearance.
Okay. Well, again, I appreciate you guys for playing along with us on this wonderful, wonderful, wonderful day. And with that note, I'm going to leave y'all with some information as well as news. It just came across my desk that Steve Harvey and his wife Marjorie are having big troubles based on Kim Kardashian's mother.
What?
Her and Steve have been collaborating on some things, and
what?
She has been. They've been whispering and sneaking around and having secret meetings and such. And Marjorie threatened a divorce. And Steve Harvey is worth $400 million, so I'm pretty sure there is no prenup.
What?
So
but are you sure there could be a prenup?
Well, I mean, I did say the $400. Again, it just broke around 3 hours ago, so it's new news. So again, we don't know if he had a prenup or not.
Man, them Kardashians, they know could be coming in, breaking up some households.
But also,
they have with yet.
It's my turn. Thank you. I guess sometimes as an executive producer, you gotta shut people down.
It sounds like a beer.
But I think that for the most part, I think the moral of the story is that even if they do have a prenup, she's trying to say that he's cheating. So I think cheating probably,
but she'd have to prove it.
Cancels out the prenup. So, with that being said, it's getting hot. So, a lot of these girls are walking around with. I was at the movie theater in Hamilton, New Jersey, right outside of Trenton, New Jersey, and I saw women wearing some things on Sunday that I just couldn't believe. Literally, just tape over their nipples and a G-string, and walking around like it's cool. So. That with the Steve Harvey,
I'm pretty sure it was not tape over the nipple.
With the Steve Harvey situation, men be careful. These things are trapped. I know it looks good on paper, but let me tell you something. Once you touch that and you're married, your wife getting half your situation. So I'm gonna leave you with Sav, and with that, have a wonderful night.
Oh yeah, because that was your closing. I can't speak during your closing, though. Am I not supposed to speak? Anyway, so I just want to tell people. It is getting warm outside. And so, try to have and remain calm and copacetic and do some outdoor activities as much as you can, but drink plenty of water and hydrate yourself, okay? Make sure that you're taking care of yourself in this weather, and that, you can experience it as much as possible when the sun starts to go down. You don't want to get burnt and fatigued. Now, with that being said, I'd like you to have a wonderful week.
I'm DJ Raw.
I'm Sapphire Hope Wonder.
And until next week, peace, love, and out we out.
You are now listening to the sounds of DJ Raw and Sapphire of DJ Raw. Welcome to the KonnecT.
Hey, and don't forget, we're on YouTube, Instagram, and Spotify, and iTunes. Check us out.
And it's the KonnecT Show. The KonnecT. Until next week, we're out.